My name is Kelly Turner. I'm a 46-year-old stay-at-home mom. I have one child, a boy. My husband is a doctor and works hard every day. As a result, it's rare for our family to go out together. Yet, I feel so blessed that I sometimes wonder if it's okay to be this happy. Today, we're going to celebrate my son getting into college by insisting on going out to eat as a family. We still have some time before our reservation. Taking advantage of the occasion, my husband booked a fancy restaurant, but I left the house early due to my excitement, and now I'm wondering what to do to kill some time. Maybe I should grab a cup of coffee, but I don't want to spoil my appetite. While I was pondering this, I heard a familiar voice. "Hey, infertile woman." I thought it was a terrible thing to say, and then someone tapped me on the shoulder. "Why are you ignoring me? Standing here all alone, looking pitiful, you haven't changed a bit. Still single, huh? Well, I guess it can't be helped. Oh, this is my daughter. She's turned out to be quite the beauty, and she's already in college." "The child you were pregnant with back then?" It was the last person I wanted to encounter. Because he was my ex-husband who, 18 years ago, suddenly showed up with a young woman visibly pregnant and handed me divorce papers saying his mistress was pregnant. "You couldn't have kids with me, so it couldn't be helped. If you're going to blame someone, blame yourself," he said, mocking me, leaving me too shocked to respond. The divorce papers I was forced to sign against my will. How frustrated I was back then. After marrying, I had devoted myself to my husband, yet I was blamed as if everything was my fault, shattering my self-confidence, and yet, after we separated, I inexplicably spent my days in tears. I still can't understand why I ever loved such a man. The child from back then was a girl. Yeah, she is. Pretty, isn't she? I never thought she'd turn out to be this beautiful. Yes, she looks nothing like you, turned out to be such a beautiful woman. We're going to celebrate her getting into college by going out for sushi. Oh, is there a sushi place around here? Yeah, look over there," he said, pointing at a conveyor belt sushi place. "Oh, conveyor belt sushi. What's the big deal? Conveyor belt sushi is still sushi, right?" "Yeah. I haven't been to a conveyor belt sushi place in 18 years, so I totally forgot about it." "Right. Conveyor belt sushi is great when you go with family, but it's kinda sad by yourself. Whenever I eat out, it's always with family. It just doesn't taste as good when you're not with family." "Oh, but you might not understand that." "Sorry. All this talk about family, he must really want to show off how happy he is. So, you never remarried, huh? That's too bad." "Well, it's not surprising, considering you can't have kids. But you're what, 46 now? At your age, not many men are looking to have kids anymore, so it's probably not even an issue. Is that so? Don't worry about putting on airs. I know better than anyone that you can't have kids. It's the worst, being a woman and not being able to have children. But there are men out there who don't mind that, so you shouldn't worry." "Sure. You seem happy, John." "Yeah, I'm incredibly happy." "That's good to hear." When I said that, I caught sight of my watch. Still have some time, but talking to this person feels like a waste of time. Just then, as I checked my watch, John's wife exclaimed, "Wait, is that watch a designer brand?" Women really do notice brands. Yes, that's right. It's impressive, you could tell just by a quick glance. It's not just the watch, right? Your necklace is real diamonds, and your clothes and shoes are designer brands too. How much did all that cost? About $20,000, I guess. $20,000. Hey, don't worry about it. That's because she's single. We have a daughter, don't we? When you have a daughter, you don't need designer stuff. But she couldn't get the brand of family, so all she can do is dress up her body. Think about it. Yeah. You're probably just standing around here, all by yourself, wondering what to do, right? Not really. I'm waiting for someone because I have plans. The person you're waiting for is a woman, right? I bet it's just two women going out to eat. Really pitiful. It's impressive how far your imagination can go. That's all you're capable of. I'm off to celebrate with my daughter, but you've got no family to celebrate with. This is how he used to belittle me. The honeymoon phase was happy, but after 2 years, the fact that we couldn't have children made his behavior towards me terrible, always looking down on me. Desperate for a child, I underwent fertility tests, but there was nothing wrong with me. I was perfectly capable of having and bearing children, yet it just never happened. Despite that, I was always blamed, and as we remained childless, I was treated like a maid. My daughter is excellent. I'm looking forward to her future. Is that so? Which college did she get into? She got into college A. Impressive, isn't it? That's good. Lucky she doesn't take after you. What did you say? She's the spitting image of me. Only in terms of intellect, perhaps. College A is known for its low academic standards, after all. She doesn't look anything like him in other aspects. I think, watching my daughter grow up beautiful, if we had had a child together, she wouldn't have turned out this pretty. She's beautiful because she comes from good stock. Sure, your wife is beautiful. Good that she takes after her. But I wonder who she gets the not-so-similar parts from. It's obviously me. She might not seem like it, but she does resemble me. If you think so, that's fine, I guess. You're just jealous of me. Because I have a family and you don't even have a husband or kids. You must be so envious. I wonder about that. Maybe you just need to feel self-satisfied? After all, you don't have a husband or kids. For now. Anyway, I don't mind what you think. Why don't you just go into the sushi place? It might get crowded and you could end up without a seat. No need to worry about that. It's conveyor belt sushi, so the turnover is quick. John laughed at his own lame joke, but his daughter didn't crack a smile. In fact, she looked like she was looking down on her father. But arguing back would just invite more ridicule, and I didn't want to talk any further. That's when my husband and son arrived. Sorry to keep you waiting. My husband was in a crisp white shirt and a high-end suit, looking as handsome as ever. My son was dressed in a very modern style, but no less handsome. Wait, what? You're remarrying? So that's it, you can't have kids, so you're remarrying someone who already has them? I ignored his comment and turned to my husband. You're early. Yeah, the patient's condition has stabilized. I've left the rest to the team. Is that okay? Yeah, if anything happens, they'll call me. So, you were talking to someone just now? Oh, you saw? I saw you talking as I walked over. I was wondering who you were talking to with Ken. While I was talking to my husband, John and his wife Sabrina were whispering to each other. That's her new partner, right? Isn't that her husband? From the looks of it, he seems to be a doctor. Wait, she's married? Seems like it. Then, that young man is her husband's son? Their imaginations seem to be running wild. Is this person someone you know? Yes, my ex-husband from 18 years ago. Ah, the ex-husband with fertility issues. Who's infertile? The infertile one is that woman. I see, someone who doesn't know how to speak properly. And that girl? Seems to be his daughter. Ah, the child who was in the womb when you split? Yes, that's her. I see, well, that's impressive. What's impressive? Knowing she's not your own child, but raising her as if she were. Not many people would do that. I respect that, it's quite something. What? What are you talking about? This child is mine. Ah, publicly, that's what you'd say. But you don't have the means to have children, right? That's why you couldn't have them. What? Why wouldn't I have the means? That's ridiculous. Really? My wife is capable of having children, but when she was with you, nothing happened. That suggests the problem was with you. So, you don't have the means. I thought it was admirable you're raising her, even though she's not your own. And no offense, but you and your wife don't look well off. You're wrong to say that. They said they came here to celebrate their daughter's college admission with family at a conveyor belt sushi place. Celebrating at conveyor belt sushi? That's a tough one. That's unfortunate for the daughter. Who are you, being so rude all this time? I'm her husband. You got married? You just assumed I couldn't get married, so I never corrected you. So, that kid is your husband's stepchild? No, he's my son. Lies. How can that be? Like my husband just said, there was never anything wrong with me. When did this happen? Right after we divorced. What? Right after we divorced means he's my child? Stop joking. He was conceived after the divorce. He's definitely my husband's child. It's impossible to happen right after the divorce. After the divorce, my husband was there for me when I was just crying all the time. His kindness moved me, and we decided to marry. But since there is a minimum statutory 6-month waiting period, we waited to register our marriage. By that time, I was already pregnant with his child. That can't be. You were pregnant with my child when we divorced? No. You might want to believe that, but that's not the case at all. Besides, someone like you, who's infertile, couldn't possibly father a child. Why am I infertile? Because I was proven to be capable of having children when I underwent fertility testing. I told you to get tested too, but you were too scared to do it. That means the problem was with you, right? That's ridiculous. My son was admitted to Harvard this year. If he really were your son, there's no way he'd get into Harvard, considering how much you hate studying. What are you talking about? My daughter got into college A. Oh, is that so? Why laugh at college A? It's a respectable college too. The academic standard of college A is quite low. It's practically a college where writing your name is enough to get admitted. Ah, let me introduce you to my son, a future Harvard student. That's impossible. But it's good enough that she got in. If it were really your genes, she wouldn't even be able to get into that. You can't even understand middle school problems. That's going too far. I'm glad I'm my dad's kid. Don't make fun of me. I'll be mocked if I'm mocked. You've made fun of me enough. The me who wouldn't fight back was only when I was weak. I'm different from who I was back then. It's only natural to talk back. What kind of woman has she become? And you, marrying such a woman? Well, I'm thankful you left her. We're off to celebrate our son's direct admission to Harvard at a fancy restaurant now. A fancy restaurant? Of course, it's a celebration. We want it to be memorable, right? Don't you feel sorry celebrating at a conveyor belt sushi place? Shut up. Eating anywhere is fine as long as it's with family. Your husband is really a doctor? Yes, exactly. Thanks to you taking John away, I met him. He destroyed my mental health, but without that, I wouldn't be where I am today. How? Where did you meet him? He works at a mental health clinic. I was his patient. I hated you two so much back then, but now, thanks to my husband, I can see that the past led to my present. We're financially comfortable and extremely happy. I'm truly grateful you left. She looks so happy now. You're lucky too. Accepting another man's child as your own, caring for her so much. It's rare to find a man who's been deceived for so long without realizing. This child is mine. Believing that so firmly, you're a great person. It's remarkable, considering how much they don't resemble you, that you've never doubted it. Doubt? This child is mine. Made from my genes. You're impressive for considering your husband's child as your own. Unfortunately, as I said before, you still don't get it. This child was conceived after I left you, with my husband. He's made from my husband's and my genes. There's no doubt about it. After all, he resembles both of us. My daughter too. She resembles me. John looked at his daughter, but his words faltered. It seems his feelings got in the way, even though he wanted to assert they resembled each other. It's about time. Oh, really? I thought we had more time before our reservation. Well, I don't think we'll meet again, so take care. Mom, look. I bought this while we were waiting. Oh, the jacket you've wanted for $2,000. Well, it's a celebration, after all. A $2,000 jacket, just like that. Have a pleasant evening. Let's go. As we proudly walked away, Sabrina's voice could be heard. What was that? I stole you from her, then she remarries a doctor, dines at fancy restaurants, and buys a $2,000 jacket for a college admission celebration, saying it can't be helped with a laugh? We can't even afford a $200 coat. Oh dear. I should have never married you. Maybe I could have married a doctor too if I hadn't chosen you. Why did I choose you? What a mistake. Hey, Sabrina. It's our daughter's celebration today. Quiet. I'm not in the mood. They're going to a fancy place, and why are we at a conveyor belt sushi? It's so frustrating. Having been able to talk back, I felt refreshed for the first time in 18 years and celebrated in more ways than one. Well, I'll never see them again, and there won't be any contact, so that's okay, right? That's what I thought, intending to keep that day as a vindicated memory. But then, about a week later, I got a call from John. Hey, it's been a week. Oh, you haven't forgotten my number? Yeah, seems I forgot to delete it. What do you want? I have a question. I thought I'd never hear from you again. What is it? That boy from the other day, is he really your child? Yes, he is. You weren't infertile? No, I wasn't. Then why couldn't we have a child when we were married? Because the issue was with you. That's impossible. Then why haven't you had a second child with her? You only have one child yourself. I chose to have only one child. I wanted all my love to go to just one child. But John, you said you wanted at least 3. Aren't you trying to make more? Or was your love for children a lie? No, I love kids. I've tried to have more. Trying but not succeeding? That means something, doesn't it? That's ridiculous. Are you sure that child is yours? She has to be my child. Even though she doesn't resemble you at all? That's. You could always get a test. That would clear everything up. After all, cuckoldry is a thing in this world. Cuckoldry? Yes. Maybe the child is someone else's. No way. If you're getting anxious, you should check. Knowing the truth and accepting it is better, right? Then everything will be clear. Yeah. Scared, huh? After all you said to me. Too scared to face the truth? No way. My daughter is mine. There can't be any mistake. Then you shouldn't have anything to worry about. Yeah, but I'm quite busy, even as a stay-at-home mom. I don't have time to deal with John anymore. Bye. 2 weeks passed. I thought I wouldn't hear from him again. But it seems he had no one else to turn to, so he contacted me again. Sounding utterly defeated. I was actually infertile. My sperm, none. So, it wasn't my fault, as I said. After all you accused me of. Yeah, it seems so. I can't have children. If you had gotten tested earlier, I wouldn't have had to endure all that. But thanks to that, I met my husband and even had a child. But I thought maybe the child could be mine. That's impossible. Yeah, but it's not something you can just accept easily. Yes, you are a weak man. So, I got a DNA test done. And? She wasn't my child. I knew that. Without sperm, there couldn't be a child. So, I asked my wife if it's really not my child. Even after all this time, she said that wasn't true. But it's impossible, so I showed her the DNA test results. Then she said, "You went that far." When I pressed her, she admitted she had been seeing someone else at the time. She got pregnant, but when she told him, he ran away, so she said the child was mine because I wanted one. A spectacular case of cuckoldry. Yeah. I was spectacularly duped. But it's okay, isn't it? You've been happy thinking she was your own. It was fine not knowing the truth until now. But now that I know. So what? Now that I know the truth, I can't see her as my daughter anymore. I've been raising a child who isn't even mine as if she were. That's okay. You've raised her lovingly and she's turned out beautiful. Just keep being a family as if nothing happened. Aren't you just happy to have been a parent? No, I wanted a child of my own genes. If she was of your genes, she wouldn't have turned out so beautiful. Shouldn't you be thankful to your wife? If she was my own, she would have definitely been cute. Look in the mirror before you say that. I'm getting a divorce. What? I've decided to divorce. I've been betrayed by my wife. How can I forgive this? Wait a minute. Getting a divorce now is absurd. You betrayed me by having an affair. Even if she had another man, if you're happy now, isn't that enough? No, it's not okay. I can't forgive her betrayal. How selfish. Say whatever you want. I've decided to divorce. Being made to raise a child that isn't mine? I can't accept that. I'll never forgive her. Listening to him, I felt it was all so ridiculous and said, "Do whatever you like," and hung up. I didn't need him to report this to me, feeling it had nothing to do with me. However, John didn't seem to think it had nothing to do with me. After that, there was no contact for a while, so I thought it was over, but 6 months later, John contacted me. I got divorced. When I tapped on the message from John, that was all it said. I accidentally read it. Divorce was his decision. I had nothing to say about it. I didn't want to read that message, because it felt like it would involve me in more trouble. As soon as I read the message, he didn't waste any time calling me. Why is he calling me? I thought that, but the persistent ringing made it clear I couldn't just ignore it. So I pressed the call button. "Kelly, can you lend me some money?" I could tell he was practically bowing over the phone. We've been divorced for 18 years, you know? Why would I lend you money now?" That's because, after the divorce, I was demanded to pay alimony and child support. Why? I don't understand why you would have to pay alimony. I don't get it either. I thought my ex-wife was to blame, but she says since I acted as a father for 18 years, even if the child was someone else's, that makes me the father no matter what. And since I wanted the divorce, she says it's only right that she demands alimony. I can kind of see her point. I don't have any savings to begin with. And she knows that but still demands such things. What a terrible woman. Huh. But I thought it was inevitable, so I borrowed money to pay. I see. Then, I was demanded to pay child support. Well, that's only natural. Why? The child isn't even mine, why should I have to pay child support? Because the child was born during your marriage and you registered her as your daughter, didn't you? That means, legally, she's your child. I just can't accept that. Whether you accept it or not, that's the law, isn't it? What a mess. Every night I'm bothered by this, I feel like I'm losing my mind. That sounds tough. So, I figured it'd be easier just to agree to the divorce. Well, if that's what you decided, then it's fine, right? Yeah, that's the thing. Now, I have to pay for college expenses every month. College A is private, so tuition must be high, right? Exactly. I have to pay off my debt, and on top of that, college expenses? I've been kicked out of my house, with nowhere to live. She doesn't care about me at all. That's tough. You see? If I had some money, at least I could rent an apartment, but I don't even have the money to rent one, so now I'm staying in an internet cafe. So, can you lend me some money? I see. You have a wealthy husband, don't you? Can afford to buy your child a jacket that costs $2,000? So, lending a little to your ex-husband like me wouldn't hurt, right? What are you talking about? Our relationship is just by chance after 18 years. I have no obligation to do anything for you. Don't say that, help me out. I'm really in trouble. No way. Do you think my husband would find it amusing if I lent you money? It could even put my marriage at risk. You made your bed, now lie in it. Don't be like that. Am I supposed to just suffer and die in this situation? I don't care, honestly. I don't have any fond memories of being loved by you. If anything, I feel like you're getting what you deserve. Don't say that, come on, please. John kept begging for help, but since I had no intention of assisting him, I blocked him. I wondered what happened to him after that, but decided it wasn't worth my concern. Then, about 3 months later, I received a call from John's ex-wife. When I asked how she got my number, she said she took it from John's phone before they separated. Thinking about her persistence, the content of her call was rather pitiful. You're hiding my husband, aren't you? Why would I need to hide him? I have no lingering feelings for such a man, nor do I see any benefit in hiding him. He hasn't paid child support. He has nowhere else to go, so he must have turned to you. She hit the nail on the head. He did come to me, but I refused to lend him any money. I don't know what happened after that. Is that true? I wanted to yell that I didn't care, but there was no point. I just repeated that I didn't know anything, and she ended the call, saying that she is going to find him and make him pay the child support. With her determination, she likely did just that. But since then, I've heard nothing more about John, so who knows what became of him. He could very well be slaving away somewhere. Truly, what goes around comes around. As for me, my son is thriving in college. Lately, my husband and I have been enjoying dates together, further savoring our happiness. I truly believe that divorcing back then led me to my current happiness.